So I played the last warm-up tournament I could play at the Borgata. The Borgata Poker Open starts next week. So, they have a few events circled. So it was the mini grind. It was a smaller bind, smaller tournament. It was going to be a 2 day. They have a bunch of day ones. And last week, the story of the day was not being able to win races. This time it was just a matter of just not winning at all with premium hands, and some hands where I completely have them dominated. 70-80% chance of winning, and not coming through the league. So I'll go over some of the hands. So the day started, really well. The first two premium hands I played, all on the first level. I had Ace King. I raised. I got called by Ace Jack. Ace Jack had actually raised, and I had three bet. And he'd called me. We were isolated, and the flop was like three small cards. I bet the flop. He calls. I bet the turn again. He calls me again. So like I check down the river and he turns over Ace Jack, and my Ace King held up, and picked up a decent pot, nothing great. And then next hand I played, I had pocket jacks again. There was a raise, and I was on the small blind, so with the jacks I three bet. So we're isolated, and again. Flop came out, three random small cards. I bet. He calls me. There were two hearts on the turn. I made a big bet, like half the pot or full pot. This is still levels still 100, 200, and I put in like 5,000 on the turn. That was pretty much the pot had been built up that big. So the river, a king hit, and also a third heart. So I decide, I'm gonna just check call. I check, and he put outside a pretty big bet. I think he put in like 8,000-9,000 into a pot. About 2/3, 3/4 of the pot. And I decide I'm gonna call. He turns over nines. So and my jacks were good. So it started out well enough. And then I think this was probably the first. I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but this is what transpired. So I had Jack Queen, and I was under the gun. I've been experimenting with, at least early in tournaments. If I wanted to see a pot, I'm in early position. I just limp in. So I limp in, like 5, 6 people get in, and the flop comes out. Queen 10-9. I have the queen jack. It gets checked to me, small big blind check. I put out a bet about 2/3 of the pot. I think I put out like 3K, and they all fold. And it comes to a small blind. He goes all in. He was a super small stack who had just deviled up. And it gets folded to me. I'm looking at a pretty big bet from him. I think I had like about 60K. He may have had 18, 19K. So it's about a third of my pot. I already put in three, but still, he's put in, 3 or 4 times the pot. I'm thinking, what does he have? Does he have the same hand? Does he have 10 jack? Maybe, two pairs, so like a 9-10. Or he could be on a draw. He could have just a jack. And, he's trying to kind of just, he didn't want to fold and going all in. I figured I probably have outs. Reluctantly, I put in the call. And he had 8 jack. He flopped the bottom straight. And at this point, the best I could do is chop. If a king hit, we both have a straight to the king. 8 hits, 8 to queen, same hand. I could chop. The only other option is to get runner boat. A queen and a jack, a queen and a 10, a queen and a 9, or 10 10, 10, 9, 9, Jack, Jack. So I was drawing thin, and I don't hit. And he took a pretty big pot from me. And so my big stack, it's early on, level 2 or 3. So instead of operating with a double stack, I was now operating, it's more than a starting stack, but it wasn't. It wasn't it. And from that point on, I think the rest of the day it was just pretty much just getting my head bashed in. A little bit later, same table. Again, middle position, I have jacks. I put out a big bet. There had been a race. I had 3-bet big. It rolls back to the small blind. Who makes in a call? Everybody else folds, so we're isolated. So flop comes out, 7-6 deuce. It looks good for me if he has an ace, ace king, or two big cards. I survived the flop. So I put out a pot-sized bet, and he calls me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got 2 big cards. Does he have? Did he hit the 7? Or what's going on? The turn is a 10. Again, I feel like I'm good, but this time he leads out. He leads out a bet. At this point, I'm pot committed for the most part. I have him covered still, but not by much. Ace 10, King 10. Maybe he hit 2 pairs. Not bored. 8-9 was a possibility, but I'm hoping not. So I put in the call. He turns over 8-9. He had the straight. I have jacks. I'm drawing dead. Nothing can help me, and I was pretty much crippled. And so that was the morning flight. So I decide they have 6, 7 big day ones. I'll fire another one at the night one. This time. I played a nice, almost a perfect game for me, which was, I wasn't getting cards, but when I got cards, I played them, well enough. So we get to level 10 or so, and I have a little bit more than a starting stack, and the numbers had dwindled down. The final 8 we're going to advance. We're like 21, 22. Not a big stack, but, I have to, I'm playing, my normal good game, not letting opportunities go. Like, for example, it was a race to me from, I gotta find the cards. Okay, yeah, this was it. It was a race to me, and it comes to me. I was on the button. I had 3 of spades, 5 of spades. I put in the call. We go into the pot 3 ways. So flop comes out, queen, 4, 6. The diamonds are not good, but the 3-5, gave me up and down straight draw, and it gets checked to me. So I'm trying to build a pot, and maybe get a free turn card if they called with a draw. So I put out a bet, and they both folded. So I was able to scoop up a nice spot with 5 high. Another hand, I won. I got the max I could get. Paid. I had ace queen of spades I had raised, and a good player had called me. We'd gotten 3 ways into the flop, and then it was like queen high with 2 spades, and I checked the flop, which was good. It got checked around. The turn was like a harmless red card, so I put out a bet, and I got 1 call, and then on the river, spade hit. So now I have, if my ace queen wasn't good enough, going a queen high board, now I had the nut flush. Nothing beats me. So I think for a little bit. I put out a pretty good bet, almost pot sized, and the other guy decides to call me. I don't know what he had, and I just quickly turned over my nut flush, and he folded his hand. So that was good. And we'll just get to the final hand, which is almost sad because. I played well, and I don't care if I don't win flips, and it goes both ways, or if somebody makes a mistake and you're forced, and But this, happens. I mean, I've been on the receiving end of the good end too at times, but it's usually, so it's one of those where those are raised under the gun. It comes to me. I'm on the button. I had ace queen. Blinds might have been 8-16, 8-16-16, and the raise might have been 35. I have about 20 big blinds, 18-19. And I know this player is kind of a little bit on the wild side. So I decide I'll go all in. Button thinks about calling. He folds. And then the under the gun guy goes, he throws in his chips. He's like, I call. He turns over jack queen. I have ace queen. He tells me, oh, you have me dominated. I was like, well, yeah, you have 3 jacks for an out. And so flop comes out 9, king 9, still holding up good. Unfortunately, the turn is a jack. He hits his 3-outer. I'm still alive. I mean, a 10 would give me a higher straight, 4 outs and 3 aces. So that's 7 outs for, 14% chance of winning this. I don't hit. 2 of spades hits, and I was out. So that was the story of the day. And starting next week, Borgata Poker Open is here, and let's go.
You like that better?
I was gonna walk around. I was like, oh.
Now he's going to break.
You're ahead for now.
I don't plan on being ahead for much longer.
Six and 12.
Look, everyone.
Okay.
That actually matters a little bit.
All in? That's I can't win.